55, and 64. Pivot 22, support 1204, 96, 86, 77. The resistance at 30, 38, 47, 55, and 64. Okay. Welcome. Some new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps. We are looking for opportunities to scalp the market based on the levels we just gave out, in addition to any price action opportunities that might occur. And once the market paints some bars, a combination of both gives us our opportunities to scalp the market. We're looking for approximately, on average, about 4 to 5 trades a day. I think we can manage those easily these days with the volatility that's in the market. And as you can tell, the market kind of rallied here a little bit. Things have, the volatility has kind of slowed down a little bit, which is not surprising because that's what happens when the markets kind of rally. It's amazing, but that's true. So we are kind of sidewinding here a little bit, as you can see here overnight. Not much is going on. Maybe a little consolidation here after that big break, and then come back here in this little rally. And the market is just kind of hanging right around that 20% area from the highs. Where everybody considers this a bear market, and it's just consolidating here, and we'll see where it wants to go next, kind of absorbing some of the news that's going to come out, whether it be fundamental or geopolitical, and trying to decide where we're going to go next. If everybody looks at the chat box, you will see the levels that we gave out this morning. Those are there for us as a guide to the day. We can tweak those, adjust them a little bit, add to them, subtract from them, tweak, it all depends on price action. Nothing here is etched in stone as we quickly come up here to the 30 area. And market, again, we always talk about the first couple bars being a little bit aggressive as far as the market opens up and trading, and quickly coming up here to the 38 area. All right. Well, you got your stop in place against the 30, and they had a rotation here against the 38. Well, it kind of almost broke even on that little trade there. Not exactly what we're trying to do, but hey, get this quick rotation here off. And again, we always talk about the first couple bars being very volatile, and we can see that here right now as well. I mean, they had all night to do this, and they did it, right? So they do it as soon as the volatility and the volume and the traders come into play. As soon as 8:30 shows up, this is what happens. And you got to be careful. You have to understand, the bottom line is you have to understand the risk involved, right? As we come up here to the 47 area. As long as you understand the risk involved, then you have to adapt the risk of the market to your trading style. And that's what we try to do here, right? More than anything else, is explain the risk to you, and then you have to make that determination as to when or where and how you're going to trade and what your stops are going to be, et cetera, as we come up here to the 47 area. Again, that's why you keep your stops in place. We always talk about that over and over again. It's a classic example. As we kind of ran through the 30, didn't have a chance on those, but we did come up here at 38, rotated very quickly off of that, and then now we're rotating very nicely here off of our 47. I mean, who knew that you can get 3 trades in the first 3 minutes? But sometimes that's what happens. This is trading, and we are at the mercy of volatility, right? We don't create it, and we don't know when it's going to happen. So, but you have to be ready for it, either in either case, and exit strategies, get back in, exit strategy, and then get back in. That's what we have to do here as a trader. That's what our job is. So the 47 here worked very, very nicely, and you were able to maybe take a little bit more than uh, 3 or 4 points out of it. As the market all of a sudden decided to wake up as soon as we opened up, which is what happens, and which is why we don't trade till the market opens up here at 8:30. So this is a perfect example of why you just have to wait till the market opens up. That stuff before is back and forth and very light trading. So keep that in mind. All right, so nice rotation there against our 47. And next level up on this upside is up at 55. They ran it through very, very fast. And again, still within yesterday's kind of range, overnight range. So we're still kind of trading in that range. We'll see if they close above here. They have to close above this 50 area to maybe have another leg up. But we'll see what happens. It's a long day. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. All right, guys, up here on the highs. Let's see if there's any numbers coming out this morning. I think we had a couple numbers already that came out this morning. We had retail inventories and wholesale trade came out this morning, and they, for the most part, were within within line. Let's see. We do have actually consumer confidence coming out here at 9 o'clock. That's kind of a biggish number. The last time they had consumer confidence out there, they made a big deal about it. And Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, that's also coming out here at 9 o'clock at the top of the hour. So a couple numbers, a couple fundamental numbers that could create some volatility. Not that we didn't have it already, but they're going to be coming out here at the top of the hour to maybe give us a little bit more. So a couple numbers to deal with at 9 o'clock here at the top of the hour. Consumer confidence, and then there are a couple of Fed speak at 11:30. Daly is going to be given a speech, and we'll see what that happens. That's going to be at 11:30. Hopefully, we are, at least if you're going to be trading, to be aware of that. All right, we're coming up here, staying here on the highs, really not rotating much. We'll see where the market wants to go. Next level of resistance that we have is up at the 55 area. Okay, market continues to uptick here. We're looking at the 55 area next. Do have a couple numbers that might affect the market. See what they do here. All right, so we have a couple numbers we have to contend with. It's really about the only thing we have to deal with. Pretty quiet on that, but big numbers. I mean, consumer confidence could be an interesting market mover here. So we'll see what that brings. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We are scalping the market, so we have to wait for opportunities. Right now, our next resistance area is up at the 55 area. Kind of ran through our first couple levels really fast, but the 47 worked very nicely. To keep your stop in there against the 30, but we also talked about how the first couple hours in the market, first couple of bars, I should say, in the market are tenuous and they kind of are a little bit more volatile. Right now, support would be around the 30 area. All right, so we had a quick run up here against, right off the morning, which again happens, and then they just kind of pull the plug a little bit. The next level of resistance we have is up at the 55, and right now support down at 30. And just right now, let's be patient. We do have a couple of numbers here that could affect the market coming up here at the top of the hour. So we'll see if where they want to do next to get themselves in a little bit of a range like we talked about yesterday, and they kind of just pull the plug a little bit. We are getting into the summer months here, so things do lighten up. The trade during the course of the day does lighten up, even though we're, yeah, you just missed it there, Don. Even though it's just very, very quiet sometimes, the trade is slow. Of course, you have the big run up like we just did right today, and then all of a sudden they pull the plug, which is usually what happens during the summer. You get a little bit of activity, and then kind of quiet again. I'm just kind of just hanging up here, waiting to see where we're going to go next. Support at 30-ish and resistance at 55, and we got a couple numbers here. Consumer confidence that could move the market to coming up here in about 10 minutes. See if that gives us another opportunity here. But again, like we said yesterday, again, they kind of get very quiet yesterday. Had to wait a little bit before we finally had a little opportunity there where the market did bounce up above a certain resistance area, and we said we look for a buy area there, and it did get a nice rotation up to where our target was at the time was the pivot, if I'm not mistaken. But these are the things that you have to wait for the market to kind of create for us to trade instead of just trading this choppiness, this choppiness that occurs. So patience is important, and waiting for the market to give you that opportunity is very important. Yeah, we're just kind of hanging up here on the highs, trying to decide what it wants to do next. Probably waiting for this number to come out, and then trying to figure out where we're going. All right, number in about 4 minutes. It's just chopping around here a little bit. Again, we don't have to trade this back and forth stuff. It gets in a bit of range bound, and it's tough to figure out where it's going to stop, when it's not going to stop, it's going to go through, it's not going to go through. So instead of trying to guess, we just are patient and wait. We do have to remember that we are getting into these summer months, and they are sucking out some of the volatility that's in the market. So as long as we understand that, that's patience is important. We'll see if this number comes out here at the top of the hour, gives us any opportunity or not. Again, it gets a little range bound, and we have to accept the trade at the time of the year. Unless obviously there's some news that comes out, some geopolitical situation, that's always going to be in the background that we are not going to be privy to, and always have to be ready to trade if that happens. Yeah, Monday is going to be closed on Monday. I thought the 4th was actually on Sunday until I checked, and then obviously the 4th is on Monday, and they're not, everything will be closed on Monday. So Friday obviously is going to be a little slow, and then Monday obviously there's not going to be much. And again, we're right in the middle, kind of getting into July here, which unless something something crazy happens, you never know. We might be a little range bound here, but we'll see where the market takes us. All right, we're going to have our these numbers be out here momentarily. See what opportunities they're going to give us. Again, we don't like to trade numbers, so be a little bit careful. Definitely are flat. I mean, we've been flat here for a bit. All right, number is out. The last time consumer confidence number came out, gave us a little bit of a move. It's just chopping around now. A little bit bullish, but nothing to get too excited about one way or the other. All right, kind of trotting back and forth here. Maybe a little bit bullish, but I'm not, nothing to get too excited about. Support would still be at the 30 area. And sometimes that's what happens. We get a little bit of volatility and then they pull the plug and then it's just chopping around here a little bit. Yeah, so obviously Monday being the 4th, the markets are going to be closed. It kind of floating down here a little bit. The VIX is down to a 26 handle. Market's slowly floating back down here to the 30 area. See, our blue band is down there at the 26. All right, 26 held, market there, blue band held right nicely there with against our blue band there. Gave you a little back up there. All right, coming down here and testing our blue band a little bit. Right. Kind of just dive through that. Our support level on the downside would be down at 12. That's our next support level that we have, especially if we get through this our pivot here. I'll look for the 12 area. Again, you got to keep your stops in place and take advantage of the road. If you had the 30s, it did rotate back up there a little bit. Maybe thought of exiting that, or if you bought the blue band initially, you had a nice rotation back up. But we'll look for the 12 area next. Obviously, the number here is creating this little extra volatility down here to the downside. Like I said, you'll always have an opportunity to trade. You don't need to have a position on when a number comes out. And we're getting some opportunities right now. All right, again, market is just chopping around here, kind of trying to figure out where it wants to go. It's hanging around. Well, the pivot right here is a 22, maybe trying to stay a little bit weak, but you never know. If we get above the 30 area, again, they might rotate it back up to the highs, at least for a time being. That could change. So we're back up here at our pivot and just kind of very neutral right now. All right, we are just kind of just chopping here. We got to get above 30 for us to make a move back, up to those that little range that we were at earlier. So if you're looking for a stop, that would be about it. Our blue band here, nice little rotation off of our blue band. All right, kind of hanging here below our blue band. We get above 30, might rotate higher. All right, coming down, we have support down here at the 12 area. All right, got down there to 13.5 and pushing back up here a little bit. Still on the same bar, so see what it wants to do here. All right, go down there to 13. Again, we're talking about the same bar, so maybe you get your order in there. Getting a little bit choppy in here. All right, we're coming down here. Going to test this 12 area now. All right, giving us a nice little rotation there against our 12 area that we talked about as our next support level. Got down there to a 12.25, so hopefully we're able to scale in there a little bit. And a nice rotation back up here. Again, patience is important. Talk about that all the time. And a nice little rotation here against the 12 area. I mean, We're just have to be patient and wait for opportunities. You just use our levels and you keep your stops in place. You should be, for the most part, not, get in, get out, get in, get out. And if you have a nice entry point with extra contracts, then you can scale out of them, take a little bit more than 3 or 4 points. I think that's where we're at these days with the volatility and how it's trading, but that could change. But for the time being, that's looks like it's a doable number, and you keep yourselves a minimal amount of risk. And when you do have a nice entry point, it's, it can make up for some of those other trades that we got run over on. All right, nice rotation there against our 12. We had to be a little bit patient. Tried to be a little bit patient. And a nice little pop back up here. Next support level we have on the downside is down at the 04 area. Got a little resistance around the 25, and again, anything above 30. I definitely don't want to be short anymore, and then maybe a push higher if we do get above that. It looks like we pretty much got into our range that we were in overnight here. We rotate back down here. The next support level we have is down at the 04. And we got a little weak here for some odd reason. I mean, after those numbers that came out, maybe a consumer confidence number created this volatility here to the downside. And looking at the 04 level next. All right, quickly rotating down here to the 04 area. All right, getting a little nice little rotation here against the 04 area. Again, have to be a little bit patient there, and actually we're a little push to the downside is giving us a little bit more opportunity. But a nice little quick pop here against the 04. Had to take a little bit of heat there, but it wasn't really that much heat. It just kind of hung there for a little bit. So it also happened to be at a settlement price as well, so kind of worked out nicely for us. Obviously, this consumer confidence number wasn't a big hit. All right, we're just kind of hanging here on the lows. The next support level is down at the 96 area. All right. Well, they kind of held this to kind of the '04 area here a little bit, and maybe popping back up there a little bit. We don't know. A little resistance would be around the 22 area, which is our pivot. And again, if we get above 30, we want to be out of any longs for sure. Maybe a push up to the upside. All right. Let's see. We had a busy morning. Definitely had more than our average that we're talking about as far as 5 trades are concerned. And nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, you have to be a little bit patient, and kind of got a little lull there before the 9 o'clock number, and we had a little activity before the 9 o'clock number, went right on the opening, and then once then they kind of waited till the 9 o'clock number, and then gave us a little bit more of an opportunity right now as we rotated to the downside, gave us chances there as well. So might just kind of hang here a bit, maybe rotate back up to that range. We don't know. We have our support levels there on the downside. And again, just be patient and wait for opportunities. Very important to do that. We have resistance right now at the 22 area. If we get above, and then a little bit around 26, but if we get above 30, you definitely want to be out of any shorts and maybe look for a push to the upside there. We'll see what what the market wants to do, or if we start trading to the downside, we have our support levels on the downside that we're going to be focused in on, and see where that market takes us from there. Again, patience is important. Remember, this is kind of summer days, but we are getting some volatility. Just make sure you keep your stops in place. We'll get back here in a bit.